What's going on, guys? Asian Guy here, bringing you a video discussing the Leakers Hunt decree, which is going on social media right now and across so many different platforms right now. It's kind of crazy. So what, if you guys are living under the Genshin rock, are missing out on is that Honey Hunter, one of the most resourceful websites in the Genshin Impact community, which is something I use personally myself, is coming under fire and has received a DMCA takedown notice. And on top of that, a lot of leaker accounts and people that were leaking stuff on Twitter, for example, have shut down their accounts as well. So Mihoyo are going all out right now. Now, this has really highlighted a lot of misunderstanding on both sides' part, right? One, on Mihoyo's part, in not really understanding the benefits of, rather than having leaks, but just giving us a timeline of what's to come. And then we have the consumer side, who don't really understand anything about how the real world works, and is just getting angry for the sake of getting angry. I really want to break down what is going on here, so that we can kind of come to a better understanding and carry ourselves in a more respectful and better manner when discussing this topic. So first of all, what has happened? So Honey Hunter is a website that essentially has a lot of resources, including leaked characters, like character information about leaks. And you have all of these characters here. You can see their stats, you can see their numbers, you can look at weapons as well, you can look at artifacts, you can look at in-game lore. Everything essentially is covered by this website. Now, what has happened is Mihoyo has come in and sent the host of this website, the overall domain host, a DMCA takedown notice. So Cloudflare has received a DMCA takedown notice for this website, asking for this entire website to be taken down, which is over like 130,000 pages worth of work, which is an insane amount of work. Now, naturally, this is going to upset a lot of people. But the reality is, and I know a lot of people are going to be unhappy that I'm explaining this, let it be known I don't necessarily take this side, but I want to put this into context. Okay, is that everything Genshin Impact does ultimately belong to Mihoyo. So it is up to them what they want and what they can't have, or rather what they want and what other people can't have when it comes to their content. Now, naturally, people are going to be like, no, we deserve to have this content. No, we have the freedom to take this content and use it for ourselves. But the part where things get tricky now is when you start profiting off this. As you can see, there are ads on this website. As you can see on this account, there's a Patreon on this website. This person is undeniably profiting and, of course, paying people to work on this website. Now, that's obviously a normal thing to do because you're running a huge scale website. But whether that's morally correct or morally wrong is a different topic, because leaks ultimately detract from the hype of the game when something drops. For example, when Yayamiko was first teased in her chibi form, I remember the hype in the community was insane. It was so crazy. Everyone was like, who the hell is that? Because hardly any leaks had come out about this, and it took everyone by surprise. Everyone was talking. It was positive energy all around. Now, ultimately, what hype does is it creates a positive atmosphere and it generates revenue, because it gets more people talking, more people interested and invested in the game, and then that will end up becoming money. Now, what a lot of people are jumping to straight up is just slandering Mihoyo, especially the Genshin Impact Twitter account, and just saying you're greedy, abuse. And this person, let's be honest, while I am very reliant on their website, I can't necessarily say that they are conducting this in a very respectful manner, because they have definitely been very aggressive towards Mihoyo, rather the Genshin Impact Twitter account before. And what people don't understand, guys, is the Genshin Impact Twitter account is run by people in the West, not by people in China. We have English speakers in the West running this account, and they're just social media people. They are not Mihoyo. They are not this big evil corporation known as Mihoyo. Mihoyo and every single games developing company, guys, is made up of hundreds of people, or maybe tens of people as individual cogs. And then it goes up the hierarchy. And I can tell you right now that this social media account is not at the top of the hierarchy. These people have no control behind the Twitter account. These people have absolutely no control whatsoever over what goes into the game, how the game works, what character designs are coming through, what characters are coming out. They have no impact on the game whatsoever, despite being called Genshin Impact. But the thing is, people don't get this. and they are going out of their way to be so toxic, so aggressive towards these poor people who are just working on the social media account, who are working for people far higher up than them, and they are powerless in this situation. So I really urge people to be respectful in this manner. If you want to give feedback, give it in a respectful manner so that people can see and pass it along. But what I will tell you guys is, in the real world, unfortunately, it comes down to the decision of 1, 2, 3, 4 people maybe at the top of the hierarchy. If they say no, they say no. If they don't see it, they don't get it. Or rather, if they don't see it, they don't see it. And if they don't get it, they don't get it. And I have seen this from working with a Western-based team, which is working for an Asian company, and you have the Asian people at the higher-ups working down, and they have like a global import of the game, and you have a small dedicated global team to try and promote the global version of the game. And what I'm talking about is a Japanese instance, and I can tell you what, the people who are working the Western team, blood, sweat, and tears. And this is the same for the Western team in Mihoyo's instance, or the people working under Mihoyo. Blood, sweat, and tears. I can promise you these people are working blood, sweat, and tears. But the thing is, when you have this Western to Eastern Asian connection, a lot of it is lost, one, in translation. But the main thing is, a lot of it is lost because they just don't get it. Like, the people there, they just don't get it. The people at the higher ups, they don't get it. And occasionally, and I don't want to generalize here, it's because they're boomers. And like, that's such a lame way to like categorize them. But really, for me, how I see it is that there's a generational gap and they don't see the benefits. And what I will say is there are clear benefits to leaks, because it makes it easier to pre-farm characters. It makes it easier to prepare and also save or ration your primo gems. The flip side, guys, and I think everyone has been a victim of this at some point. If you're watching on YouTube, guys, you've definitely seen this already, is when people put story leaks, lore leaks, character leaks straight into the thumbnail as clickbait, or straight into the thumbnail, and it's like such a massive spoiler for the story, and it will completely ruin the hype, and it will kill and detract from the hype. And yes, I mean characters as well, even though you need to have the character leak in the first place to know what to pre-farm. Although I can see a future where we know what we need to pre-farm without actually having seen the character, I think that would be great. Realistically speaking, that's never going to happen. And killing the hype is obviously something Mihoyo don't want. And while people might attribute this solely to money, I would also attribute this to just public relations and public image of the game. If there's leaks in the game and it's so easy for people to come and take stuff, it doesn't look good. If everything's being spilled out, non-official, Mihoyo cannot control the hype, or they cannot give the narrative of the hype the way they want it to. And I'm not saying this to defend Mihoyo. What I'm trying to put into perspective is what the real world is like, what the real context is like. Mihoyo, at the end of the day, is trying to generate hype. They're trying to generate money. And when they have their product, which is their project, and when you have people in that company who are working blood, sweat, and tears to bring you a good product, and then you have people taking from that and leaking it, it doesn't feel good. Let me put it into context in this way, because a lot of people just don't have the basic empathy here. And I have empathy for both sides here, but I'm going to start off with Mihoyo. So please hear me out here. Say you are someone working on an art piece. Say you're working on a game at home. You're a game dev and you're working at home. And you're working inside your home. And then suddenly, when you're sleeping, someone breaks into your home, takes your stuff, puts it out on the internet for everyone to see, for everyone to scrutinize, and on top of that, they're making money off it. They're running ads on it. They're putting it on YouTube and they're putting ads on it. They're putting it on a website, they're putting ads on it. They're associating themselves to it so that they can profit off it by having certain websites where you can receive money and donations based on it. Is that going to make you feel good? No. As the owner and the creator of that stuff, it will never, ever, ever feel good. So there is already this disconnect from the people that are taking this work from other people and profiting off it, because for them, they don't see the moral obligation to not just take stuff. They see it and they're like, yo, easy, let me take that, boom, let's make money off it. Now, I'm not saying Honey is necessarily this case, because let me tell you what, the amount of money these people make is definitely not worth the amount of work they put in. Over 100,000 pages, guys, is a ridiculous amount of work, and this is just a really, really nice, resourceful website to be out there, even if it didn't have leaks. Now, what I will say, though, is they should have known better, because they know that no one is oblivious to this, that Mihoyo is anti-leaks. This website could so easily have existed without leaks and still have been a fantastic resource. And there's a reason why Mihoyo is not going after the other websites like wiki websites or any other websites that don't participate in leaks, because those kind of things are okay. Those kind of things are purely there to promote and make life easier for Mihoyo. Whereas this one makes life harder for Mihoyo. And I don't want to say this in a stance where I'm necessarily defending Mihoyo's actions, because I wish they had a more civil approach to this and they asked these people to simply take down the leaks. And if anything, they could have cooperated with them to make one of the best resourceful websites that we've ever seen. Because this Honey Hunter website is so good. It's so good. It's so useful, and it's just very, very helpful in general. I can click on, let's say, for example, let's go to Zhongli. I click on Zhongli. You can see everything for Zhongli, all the voice signs, all of these things that you need, exactly how much more you need, how much materials you need. You can see all the multipliers at every single level, what the abilities do, and it's just in general very, very useful. And yes, you can see a bunch of ads there as well. And you can see all the voice actors. You can see all of these other things as well, which actually I'm not going to go into there because some of it is spoilers, guys, because you got lore in there, you got voice lines in there, which for some people, maybe they should be trying to unlock them normally. Other people don't care and they want to go straight in there and then be like, all right, let's look at all of these voice signs. So when voice signs come out when the game is not even out yet, or when the character is not even out yet, that can obviously cause problems as well. You know, like for example, let's take voice actors. They do their work. They're excited for people to all see this at the same time. And then boom, leaks. All of their voice lines are out there, right? Some of the voice lines might not even make it to the game and they're out there. So there's obviously a problem here. You know, not only the story leaks, but even when the character leaks, is discrediting, and it takes away from the effort from so many people, because a lot of people just see Mihoyo and they're like, whoa, this one big evil corporation. Mihoyo is this one massive devil. But realistically, it's built of 100 people, hundreds of people putting in hard work. Just as there's many people working on Honey Hunter putting in hard work. So you guys got to understand, and I say you guys, but I mean to the people who are specifically bashing Mihoyo and specifically bashing the Genshin Impact Twitter account, you got to understand there are real people behind this putting in hard work, and they have a desire to help their company. They have a desire to make their product as best as possible. And for them, the best as possible is not the same as when all of their work gets leaked out early, before the trailers, before the hype can be built at the same time. So there is a plus and a minus. And what I will say, pre-farming is nice. I like pre-farming, guys. I want to know what I need to prepare for. So on the first day, I can level 90 my character instantly. For me, in other gacha games, normally, if I have the resources pre-farmed, boom, instant level 90 or instant max level, and I can use them immediately to my heart's content. And it comes down to, you know, and the individual. Every individual has different preferences. A lot of people, and I would say the vast majority of casual players, genuinely don't care about pre-farming. They just want the character. They just want to have a fun, casual time. But from the more hardcore community, they definitely care. They definitely want to be as efficient as possible with their primo gems. So there is a plus and a minus. There is a, you know, there are two different sides of the coin here. And I would like to encourage as many people to be understanding of both sides. Now, is there a solution to this? Realistically, I don't think so anymore, because this person has, unfortunately, been not very civil when it comes to Mihoyo and what they've tweeted to them before in the past, and has definitely instigated some aggressive behavior. I think if they had gone about it in a more respectful manner and understood that, you know, there's multiple layers to this, this could have gone better. I think they didn't necessarily have to do all of this leaking and act as if they're some sort of saint, because a lot of people that leak think that they're like some sort of Jesus or they're some sort of savior. Leaking ultimately, I don't think is necessary in the game. And again, people would be like, it's easier to pre-farm, it's easier to do this and be more, you know, reserved with your primo gems. And while that is a somewhat valid point, if everyone is on the same boat where you don't know what's coming, it makes things way more exciting. If everyone is on the same boat and you guys know there's going to be reruns in the future, with a lot of other gacha game communities, a lot of people save for reruns. And even now, a lot of people will wait, even after the banner is gone, and then wait for a rerun to see if the character actually ages well. And this attitude is, for me, hardly anywhere to be seen in Genshin Impact. I think a lot of people just want to get angry for the sake of being angry. Again, I have consumed this website for leaks, for pre-farming reasons, and I can understand why people are upset. I personally would like if Mihoyo gave us a timeline. I would personally love it if they told us what to pre-farm. My ideal, guys, is if they gave us a timeline or hints at what to pre-farm for the incoming characters without actually revealing what the characters are. Because if I could see a trailer, let's say for the first time with, for example, Kazuha, right? When Kazuha, imagine if Kazuha was first introduced in a trailer, no one had any idea who this character was. No one had any idea what their abilities do, and everyone got to see that trailer at the same time, while knowing in advance what to pre-farm. That would have been, chef's kisses. That would be the ideal. No story spoilers, no massive YouTube spoilers everywhere saying, oh, look at this character can do this character can do that. If that all came out at the same time with a trailer, perfection. I would personally love that. But yeah, that is my take on the situation, guys. I would like to quell as much aggressive behavior as possible here, because again, the people on the Genshin Impact Twitter account, guys, are not Mihoyo. While they might work for Mihoyo, they're not this big corporation that sees you. It's literally 1 or 2 people. It's a messenger. And you guys are attacking the messenger. The people who are abusing this account are you're just shooting the messenger. And these are just poor people. Like, these poor souls are working hard to try and be, you know, sweet and kind with the community, and then they are also restricted by what they're being told up by their higher-ups. And you got to understand that it's not like they can force their hand. It's not like they can force the hierarchy's hand. It's not like they can really make a massive impact and suddenly fight back and tweet out without getting fired, oh, I'm against this, I'm against that, against their own bosses. That's just unfortunately not how the real world works. But yeah, let me know your thoughts and opinions. Which side of the fence do you stand on? Let's please keep this civil in the comments, because I know some people are rabid, especially children, can get really aggressive, really, really rabid very quickly. And that's just no bueno, guys. We got to do this in a mature, respectful manner. Thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. And bye-bye.